Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, China denies allegations it is interfering in the Philippines' midterm elections. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle leads a rosary for Pope Francis in the Basilica of Saint Mary Major in Rome. Filipina tennis ace Alex Eala bows to world number 2 Iga Swiatek at the Madrid Open. And the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, gushes about being the happiest she's ever been. China denies interfering in the midterm elections. This comes after a Senate hearing revealed alleged efforts by pro-China accounts and local proxies to shape political opinion by repeating narratives from Beijing online. China's foreign ministry says they have no interest in interfering in the elections. It also insists they follow the principle of non-interference in other countries' domestic affairs. The election season intensifies with Vice President Sara Duterte hitting the campaign trail. She attended the rally of Manila mayoral candidate Isko Moreno, where the VP seemingly mocked a lawmaker who questioned her use of office funds. Hanati reports.
Vice President Sara Duterte has turned up the heat in the Manila campaign trail. For the first time, she attended Manila mayoral candidate Isko Moreno's campaign rally, together with PDP Laban senatorial bets, Attorney Jimmy Bondoc and Senator Amy Marcos. It was in Manila's 2nd District, an area represented by Congressman Rolando Valeriano. Though she did not name him, the VP mocked his voice and physical appearance before a laughing crowd.
Sobrang laki ng leeg niya. Naiipit na yung boses niya. Congressman yan. Ng syudad ng Maynila. Diba?
She then questioned how Valeriano even won in 2022 and proceeded to flex Yorme's bet for the 2nd District.
At ganitong klaseng kapasidad, hindi ko alam, ano bang nangyari noong 2022 at yan ang binoto ninyo? Ikwento nyo nga sa akin.
But politically, Valeriano is far from a nobody. It was his privileged speech last year that prompted the House Blue Ribbon Committee to launch a full-blown probe into the funds of the Office of the Vice President. In that speech, Valeriano questioned the OVP's 2025 budget and its Ayuda program, which he said were limited to NCR. He also asked for proof that nearly 1 million beneficiaries were not fake. What followed were months of congressional hearings.
Lahat, inakusahan niya ako ng lahat-lahat na, pero wala man lang siyang isang ebidensya na sinabi na ito ang nagpapatotoo na buwisit talaga yung babaeng Inday Sara na yan.
COA earlier flagged the transfer of 125 million to the OVP in 2022, a fund not included in the national budget. And during plenary debates, it was revealed that the funds were spent in just 11 days. A House panel later discovered that over 1,000 names linked to the funds had no PSA records, including names like Mary Grace Piatos and Kokoy Villamin. After the mocking, the VP warned, "Don't vote based on fame, and look where it brought the country."
Sa kangkungan na tayo. Ay, sorry, in-endorse ko din pala si BBM. Humingi-hingi ako ng patawad.
She then faced PBBM's sister, Senator Amy, and took a public jab, joking she might as well drop her last name. VP Sara recently endorsed Senator Amy after the senator exited his brother's Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas slate.
Ma'am, tinatanggap ko po ang sorry mo at pinatakbo mo akong Vice President. Okay lang, ma'am.
The presidential sister just laughed it off. Hanati, Billionario News Channel.
Agriculture Secretary Francisco Laurel pushes back after Vice President Duterte sharply criticized the government's 20 pesos per kilo rice program. He insists the cheaper rice stocks are of good quality. Paulo Barcelon reports.
Agriculture Chief Francisco Laurel did not mince words upon hearing Vice President Sara Duterte's remarks that the 20 pesos per kilo rice stocks government is selling in the Visayas are not for human consumption. In an interview with state media, Laurel said he hopes the vice president would help the program instead of criticizing it.
Sana na lang, imbis na bumatikos ang ating vice presidente, who I deeply respect, ay sana tumulong na lang sa aming programang ito para sa lahat naman ng mamamayan nito. Of course, umpisahan natin ito sa Region 6, 7, and 8 and Negros Island region as a pilot project.
Duterte earlier said that the cheap rice was just part of the Marcos administration's moves to get votes from the Visayas. She even claimed rice stocks there are meant for pigs.
Meron akong pagdududa ha, na magbebenta sila ng 20 pesos per kilo na bigas pero hindi pang tao, pang hayop.
Some individuals and groups are having doubts. In an interview with DWAR Abante Radyo's Walang Atrasan, former Agriculture Secretary Leonardo Montemayor wondered how the government can bear with the cost of making rice cheaper for lower-income families.
To produce 1 kilo of rice, NFA must spend mga 37 pesos. Kasi namimili po yan ng palay. Ngayon, ibibenta mo ngayon ng 20 pesos. Di pa at kilo na ibibenta natin at 20, malaking pagkalugi o kung hindi pagkalugi, yung subsidy.
Rice Watch Group Bantay Bigas, meanwhile, is doubtful of the program's timing.
Pwedeng i-boost din yung trust rating ni BBM dahil sa yung latest na survey ay bumaba ng double digit yung trust rating ni BBM. So lahat yan ay pwede natin sabihin na may kaugnayan dun sa politika.
Laurel says the program will be subsidized by national and local governments and that rice stocks are not old stocks and are of good quality. The Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura asked the DA to ensure farmers are protected from low-balling traders.
Sana ang gusto natin yung zest and determination ng government to lower rice prices. Ganon din sana in protecting yung farmers natin na wag naman bumagsak yung farm gate price. If they can subsidize yung 20 peso rice, baka kailangan dagdagan din yung subsidy as para yung NFA procurement ng palay is concerned. Kasi NFA can compete at 80-90. Pag wala kasi ang NFA, talagang mababarat ang mga farmers down to 15.
The DA says the program is meant to move out old rice buffer stocks and replenish them with newer ones. Laurel also assured the public that if rice stocks are found to have weevils or bukbok, those stocks would not be delivered and their warehouses investigated. But Laurel is confident advancements in warehousing methods will help solve this problem. Back in 2022, President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Duterte jointly campaigned and won the election, with cheap rice as one of their major campaign promises. While the DA and other government agencies are preparing for the rollout of rice to be sold at 20 pesos per kilo, many people are asking, will lower-income families gain access to cheaper rice? Or will this be another half-cooked proposal to gain votes this midterm elections? Paulo Barcelon, Billionario News Channel.
Dengue continues to pose a real threat to health, so the country's top organization of medical doctors launches a renewed push to end fatalities due to the disease. Our mobile journalist Ivy Reyes is on the scene in Quezon City for details. Ivy, go ahead.
Mai, ahead of the 8th Asia Dengue Summit to be held here in the Philippines, the Philippine Medical Association, or PMA, bears their plans to achieve zero dengue deaths. Just to give you an update on what the association's achieved so far, the End Dengue Coalition was launched February this year. It's the largest organization of doctors in the Philippines committed to ending dengue fatality by 2030. Last year, on PMA's first Dengue Summit, all plans to combat dengue are based on Sustainable Development Goal number 3, whose health and well-being. Today, the biggest challenge, according to PMA, is the misconception surrounding dengue vaccines. Another problem the PMA sees is the fatality rate of dengue cases in the Philippines of 0.5 to 1%, which are 10 times higher than other Asian countries. In 2017, the National Institute of Health found that confidence and trust in vaccines massively dropped from 93% in 2015 to just 32% in 2018. Mike?
Ivy, do you have data on how many dengue cases have been recorded so far this year?
Mai, from January to April 2025, the number of dengue cases have reached up to 95,200 cases, which is significantly higher than 2024's 54,500 cases. Meanwhile, the health department says that the dengue cases in the Philippines dropped by 23% from March 15 to 29. Mai?
Thank you, Ivy Reyes, reporting live from Quezon City. Motorists should gas up now as pump prices are expected to go up next week. The Energy Department says gasoline could increase by as much as 1 peso and 40 centavos per liter. Diesel by as much as 1 peso per liter and kerosene by 70 centavos per liter. The DOE cites the U.S. sanctions on Iran's oil shipping network and higher demand for crude for the price hike. President Bongbong Marcos honors 3 exceptional Filipinos who have visited all 193 UN member countries. Odette Ricasa, Luisa Yu, and Catch Medina are among less than 500 people worldwide to achieve the rare travel feat. During a courtesy call in Malacanang, Marcos praised their dedication and said their achievement has made him proud. He also noted how Filipinos are popular globally for our innate hospitality and empathy. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle leads a rosary for Pope Francis at his chosen burial site, the Basilica of St. Mary Major in Rome. Tagle called on the public to pray for the late pontiff. The Filipino cardinal is among the early favorites to become the next leader of the Catholic Church. Tagle, along with Manila Archbishop Jose Cardinal Advincula and Caloocan Bishop Pablo Virgilio Cardinal David, are expected to join the conclave to elect the new pope. Meantime, droves of worshippers continue to pay their final respects to Pope Francis. Since Wednesday, more than 90,000 people have lined up in St. Peter's Basilica, where the Pope's body lies in state. Security is tight with the army, police, and civil protection officers patrolling St. Peter's Square. While queues have moved faster than expected, officials had to extend the viewing time on Thursday to accommodate the devotees.
There was a queue for 1 hour and 15 minutes, and we got to see the Pope, and he looked very tranquil and peaceful.
I think 1.5 hours. Yeah, we were very lucky. It doesn't take that long for us.
More than 170 delegations, including heads of state and government, will attend Saturday's funeral. Among them, President Bongbong Marcos and U.S. President Donald Trump. On to the war in Ukraine, as U.S. President Trump is not happy with Russia's latest attack on Kyiv. At least 12 people died in that attack, with another 90 wounded. Trump says it was unnecessary and very bad timing as he pushes for a peace deal.
We're putting a lot of pressure on Russia, and Russia knows that, and some people that are close to it know, or he wouldn't be talking right now. You think we're just in there because we're nice people, and we are nice people, but we're using a lot of pressure on them.
What concessions has Russia offered up thus far to get to the point where you're closer to peace?
Stopping the war, stopping taking the whole country. Pretty big concession.
The Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, gushes about being the happiest she's ever been. Meghan addressed the Time 100 Summit in New York, where she discussed her entrepreneurial ventures and family life. And amid all endeavors, she expressed appreciation for how supportive her husband, Prince Harry, has been.
To have a partner and a husband who is just so supportive, and to have healthy kids that are so joyful in the freeness of their life and the safety of their life that we create for them. I never, of all the things that have happened in my life, I never would have imagined getting here at this point. I would feel just so happy and grateful, and I really do.
We're taking a break. Up next, get to know who will play Anthony Bourdain in an upcoming biopic about the late culinary icon. Entertainment and sports after the break. It's the end of the road for Alex Eala in the Madrid Open after a courageous and valiant effort. The women's world number 72 lost to world number 2 and defending champ Iga Swiatek in their highly anticipated rematch. Final score 4-6, 6-4, and 6-2. Eala took the first set, but the Polish superstar rallied to win the match that lasted 2 hours and 15 minutes. The Filipino tennis sensation walks away with 35 ranking points and over 30,000 euros in prize money, or nearly 2 million pesos. Meanwhile, one man down in the Madrid Open as Carlos Alcaraz withdraws from the tournament due to injury. Alcaraz says he was struggling with hamstring and groin issues, a potential blow for his title defense preparations at the French Open next month. The Spanish star sustained the injury during the final of the Barcelona Open earlier this April. Despite this, Alcaraz received high praise from tennis icon Novak Djokovic, who believes the Spaniard is well on his way to becoming a future great.
We have to remember that his age and what he has done for his age is not also normal. And I'm sure that we'll see a lot of him on the big stage with trophies in the future, whatever, 10 years, 15 years, as long as he's playing. It's hard to compare eras. The last 20 years was dominated mostly by the four of us. And, you know, obviously when the three of my biggest rivals retired, and, you know, you can feel there's a shift, not only in terms of the generations of players that are coming now, all of a sudden, you know, the main focus and attention is on them.
In entertainment, 9 years after a terrifying jewelry heist against Kim Kardashian, the trial for the suspects finally begins next week. 10 people will go on trial starting on the 28th. Among them, a group of pensioners dubbed Grandpa Robbers. One of them has admitted to taking part in the robbery, saying he had struggled to make ends meet. Kardashian was in her apartment during Paris Fashion Week in 2016 when robbers broke in, tied her up, and even held her at gunpoint. Millions of dollars worth of jewelry were stolen. Kardashian herself will travel again to Paris to attend the trial. The cast of an upcoming biopic about culinary icon Anthony Bourdain has been revealed. A24 confirms the Holdovers actor Dominique Sessa will star as the late American celebrity chef and author. The film, titled Tony, will cover the life-changing experiences Bourdain had working and living in Provincetown, Massachusetts. Bourdain later took off as an executive chef at a New York City restaurant. He became a celebrated personality in the culinary scene with his globe-trotting TV series No Reservations and Parts Unknown. We're taking another break. Still ahead, NASA celebrates the Hubble telescope's 35th anniversary with new photos of space. We'll give you a look when we return. Stay with us. You're back at Newsfeed at noon. The beauty of the Philippines once again recognized on the world stage. Palawan is hailed the best island to visit this year by the U.S. News and World Report. The online magazine cites the archipelago's more than 1,700 islands and islets, which it says entice adventure seekers and beach bums alike. It adds Palawan's dry season from November to May is the best time to visit. Palawan is followed by Sardinia and Mauritius on the list. For the tourism department, the recognition also serves as a tribute to local communities, tourism workers, and stakeholders who have worked tirelessly to preserve and promote Palawan's treasures. A handwritten letter from Napoleon is going under the hammer in France. In the letter addressed to a nobleman and ally, Napoleon addressed or denied his role in the kidnapping of Pope Pius VII in 1809. Pope Pius was kidnapped by French forces in his private apartment. He later became a prisoner of Napoleon for 5 years. The letter will go on sale in Paris starting Sunday and is estimated to fetch between 12,000 and 15,000 euros. Before we go, NASA releases new, stunning space images to mark the 35th anniversary of the Hubble Space Telescope. The images showcase Mars and distant galaxies. Launched in 1990, Hubble has revolutionized our understanding of the universe and remains a vital tool in astronomical research. Hubble has nearly 1.7 million observations and over 22,000 scientific papers to its credit.
We're using Hubble in new, exciting ways because Hubble sees wavelengths or colors of light that other observatories don't see, and vice versa. We're using Hubble to complement the infrared light observations that the newer Webb Space Telescope can do. Webb can see deep into the universe, some of the earliest galaxies. Hubble sees nearer galaxies in all the detail, seeing its hot spots of star formation. With this information together, scientists are piecing together how galaxies have grown and merged and changed over all of cosmic history.
And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on the Billionaire News Channel.